Hello and welcome to my review of Schoolboy Q, Oxymoron. Finally this album dropped, supposedly last year, but now finally it's here, it's in our hands, and we can check out how the music is. The one thing the Interscope deal did for Schoolboy Q is get a ton of buzz surrounding this album. It just got people hyped, people were really anticipating this. It's really surprising since 2 years ago nobody knew the fuck TDE was, and now you can just see the branding and the marketing, it's all there. But now, can the album live up to the hype, which was set? Is it another TDE classic? Or a sophomore slump? Let's figure that one out. When approaching this album, many people's first thought will be Good Kid, Mad City, which just stands as this uncontested example for a classic album of the modern day. And really, Schoolboy Q just compared the two albums too often in interviews. But no, Oxymoron is no Good Kid, Mad City. Q's style is so much different anyway that it wouldn't make any sense. Q isn't this type of integral lyricist. He's more brash, for example, on what they want. Don't trust no hoe, I might sock the bitch, I'm apocalypse to your politics. It's just way harsher and not such an emphasis on lyricism. His delivery is what makes Q special. It's the style of being right up there in your face, brash and harsh. Just think of his signature ad-lib, yak. He'll change up his flow a little bit for every track, and the way he mixes the songs and his voice in afterwards, that's what makes him special. This album is a successor to Habits and Contradictions, and just think back a little bit to get your expectations in proportion. Just remember, were your favorite tracks A, Sacrilegious, Blessed, or My Homie? Or B, There You Go, Hands on the Wheel, Shrug Is With the Hose Again? If it's A, you might be in for a slight disappointment, yes. If it's B, you'll be far from disappointed. Q on here tried to make an album that was in the 90s style of a gangster rap tape. He's going to give you a very good and varied amount of songs, all from the perspective of a gangster. He's going to be talking about the life, maybe he's going to glorify it like on Gangsta Gangsta. Maybe he'll tell a party where the G's are, like on Hell of the Night, or give you some personal shit, Hoover Street. You'll get a balanced album, but to be honest, it slided a little bit more to the lighter, funner side. The type of songs which was lost in the transition were the more experimental tracks that either had a weird beat or Q was on there trying to rap a little bit weirdly, playing around with his voice. Just think back, the first Groove Line or Gangsta Designer are two examples that come to mind. These type of tracks which were not quite fitting into a mold, that's what's missing on this tape, or is luckily not there, depending on how you look at it. The hard number of tracks which are introspective or personal are down on here, but the ones which do exist are just real standouts. Both are 6-minute-ish long, and they just reek of creative freedom. They're both free of any song structure they want, both telling a narrative. The first one is talking about Q in his grandma's house growing up with his drug-addicted uncle. And then the other one is Prescription / Oxymoron, where he's first talking about his drug addiction, and then later talking about selling the drugs to other people. You can see the oxymoron in here. You got a problem with it yourself, then you're selling that shit to other people. But the real reason why he's talking about oxymoron is because he's talking about all this gangster shit, and he was doing it all for his daughter, which is an oxymoron in itself. That's as far as the title Oxymoron goes. But these two tracks are all mixed in together with the more accessible tracks like Blind Threads with Raekwon, Collard Greens with Kendrick Lamar. Sure, you've heard a couple of the singles which are, for one, bigger and more cohesive than ever before. This also comes through the instrumentals which we have on here. They're all very strongly different, but on the other hand, they're consistent with the dark, groovy vibe they have to them. A couple of tracks are a little bit too acceptable, though, to be counted as high points. Personally, I find Lost Awesome and Studio to be misfitting. The album is great, but no classic. Compared to Habits and Contradictions, it's more consistent, but it's not as out there. I fear the high points as well may not be as high or long-lasted as they were formerly, but only time will tell on that one. 4 out of 5.